and we'll get rolling. So, coming to sit in a way that feels pretty at ease for you, pretty supportive, where you can really drop in and feel the ground underneath you and really let the ground have your weight. And a place where your spine can feel pretty clear, right? So that there might be a dignified lift through the body. There might be a spacious widening, but somehow to try to feel. I remember Rodney Yee one time said, imagine your spine was like a bell, and that when you ring it, you want it to resonate. So, kind of making space around it so that you can ring the bell of your spine with your breath. And imagine it singing back to you. And noticing perhaps the shift already, that's all it takes, that little bit of interoception. So we have proprioception, which is the ability to feel our body relative to the space outside around us. And so whether you have your eyes closed or your eyes sort of soft, halfway closed or open, to see if you can just notice the relationship of your shoulders to your hips without looking to have a sense of where your ears are in relationship to your shoulders, of the curve of your low back, where your feet and hands are placed. And to just get a sense of your body in the space around you. And so that's proprioception. And then to drop in to the ocean inside your body and to have a sense of interoception, right? To just notice, where is there heat in your body or where is there coolness? Are there other sensations? Do you feel hunger? Where is it? Do you feel anxiety anywhere? Do you feel a sense of warmth, a feeling kind of like peace or calm anywhere in your body? And so that interoception is another way of knowing yourself. And it's shown that in the places where we have pain or where we feel the most stuck in our bodies, often we have a more limited sense of both proprioception and interoception. So you might notice, are there any places that feel like sort of blank spots on your map? Like, what is there? What is going on under my skin or on and around my skin there? And our bodies are so deep. They really are deep, deep oceans. And to bring your interoceptive attention down into your belly, what we would call the gut, down into your low belly in particular. And so this is the center of your enteric nervous system. And it's the place that's the major home to our interoception. You might even touch it, put your hands on it, have a feeling of the skin on your palms touching your body, sensing the warmth or coolness in your hands or in your stomach. Feeling your body change shape as you breathe in and out. So this might be a place that you let your attention land today as you remember to practice interoception, that this is the main home, the main hub of where we start to really feel ourselves from the inside. And then the other one is in all the miles, really, of tissue, connective tissue that surrounds all of your organs, your muscles, and your bones, that lines the whole inside of your skin, your fascia. Your fascia is the other major home of interoception. So that's another place you could bring your mind's eye, your attentive intelligence, to start to really feel yourself from the inside, because it's a practice. It's not easy at first, to know, like, am I hungry? Am I not? But usually we just eat because it's time to eat, or because we're bored, or whatever it might be. How do I feel after I do this shape, or after I go for a run? Can I feel the warmth, the coolness, the buzzing, the electricity, to really be in this space of interoception? And I invite you, if you want to Om with me, we can start with one Om. And it's a nice experiment to feel it, instead of noticing the sound on the outside, to try to feel where it hits you on the inside, or where it might emerge from on the inside. You can put your hands on your thighs, together at your heart, or on your body anywhere. Take an inhale, deep and wide. Oh. And then coming onto all fours, you can start on hands and knees. Give your spine a shake out. What does that mean to you? Whatever it means to climb into your body and feel your own personal spine, and feel it, like really feeling it from the inside. Imagining all the connective tissue that wraps around each bone of your spine, that fills the spaces in between the bones of your spine, that lines the spine up and down to either side. Feeling your belly. How does it feel? Does it feel tense? Does it feel soft? Does it feel empty? Does it feel full? Does it feel warm? Does it feel cool? Just really simple things you can do to enhance this ability to feel into the ocean of your body. So we're going to come just to simple hands and knees. Let me move this back a bit so you can see. And taking the right leg back, right, and the left arm forward, like we often do here, but then adding just a little bit of an opening out to the side. So the left arm will open maybe like 15, 20 degrees to the left, and the right leg to the right a little bit, just a bit off center, and then back to the middle. A few times like that, just repeating off center, arm and leg out a little bit, back to the middle. Couple more times. Where do you feel it? What does it feel like? Do you feel things starting to light up inside you? Next time you come back to center, put the left hand back down. Take the right leg, swing it all the way over to the right now. So you're kicking it way out to the side, and then swing it all the way behind you, crossing the thighs, tucking the toes to the floor. And then you can C-curve your spine. So you look over your left shoulder, try to press your rib cage into the inner skin on the right side of your torso, and move just a little. It doesn't have to be big movements, but little subtle shifts, even just the movement of the breath, helping the body to sort of undulate a little bit, and feeling perhaps like you're using the ribs to polish the skin, to touch that fascia, that inner lining of the skin along the right side of the body. Can you sense that? Can your fascia feel the touch of your ribs? And then go ahead and just kind of slide that right knee back behind the left, so the legs are crisscrossed at the thighs, the feet are open a little bit wide, and a little cat-cow here, so you can alternately round and extend the spine. An invitation here to stay right here if this is where you like it. Otherwise, you can also add a little pushback. So a rounding with a pushback of hips to heels, and then an extension of the spine as you shift a little forward like a cow pose. So going back and forth between your version of cat and cow, whether it's just here on the knees or whether it's a rocking back and forth a couple times. And then we'll come forward all the way out onto the belly. Maybe you can keep your legs crossed. Mine sort of uncross at the knees and cross at the ankles when I do this. If they uncross, that's totally fine too. Send your left arm way out in front of you, and then push over onto the left side of your body. You can hold your head up with your hand and stack your legs. We're going to use this right hand in front of the chest for a little added sense of grounding and balance, and just pick up the right leg all the way up to the sky. And as you pick it all the way up, don't look at it. Okay, this is the interoception and the proprioception challenge here is to not look at your leg and start to make some big circles with it. And can you make a circle? Like if I'm not paying attention, I make the wobbliest, messiest, sort of like flat sided on one side circle. So to make a really lovely circle, a few times in each direction, you can go ahead and switch, feeling how you really have to call on the deep abdominal muscles to stabilize yourself so you don't tip right over when you make this circle. And you might notice, how does your hip joint feel on that right side? Any cracks or creaks or crunchy sounds? Not bad, they're okay. Mine does a big thump when I get to the back. So just feeling into that, and then take the leg way up high, just reach it up towards the sky. And then we're just going to slowly close it back down, but real slow, closing it back down and trying to sense even here, like, can you sense the space between the legs? And as they come closer together, almost like an electricity of warmth of the skin on your legs, the skin on the inside of your ankles, eventually coming to kiss. And you can just spill back onto your front side. When you get there, take a cobra, any size cobra, any amount of wiggling around or moving this way or that. And it's always interesting too, at any point, if you feel comfortable to close your eyes today, just another way to increase the sense of both intero and proprioception. You can go ahead and come back to a child's pose, round it on back, like real luxuriously kind of melt your way there. And then coming onto your toes curled under to come sit on the heels. At any point, if you need relief, you can sit up tall off the heels or you can come off the heels. But as you come to sit on your heels, you can just use your arms a little bit here, taking the arms and just playing with what does it feel like to externally rotate the arms, right? So the thumbs turn up and then maybe even back, and then to internally rotate the arms. Right? And maybe to isolate that, right? So that the spine isn't moving, the upper back, the low back. They're really stable, simple, elegant, and strong. And we're just moving the arms. And then you can add some movement of the spine. Does it want to? Mine really wants to move with the arms, right? They're so connected. We think like we're just this bunch of parts, right? Like this muscle, this arm, but they're so connected. All the way down from your tongue to your big toe, fingers all the way down the spine. Just another moment here, and then you can let that go. Just let the arms droop down, uncurl the toes. If you want to, you can roll your toes around or ankles around or whatever it takes to kind of wash that one off. And we'll come back to all fours and do that all on the other side. So little cat-cow, really right here, this is just intuitive movement for yourself. A few moments to just check in. Again, noticing, where do I feel good? Where do I feel warmth? Where do I feel a little fuzzy about what's going on in my body, perhaps? And then we'll settle in the center where you can take the left leg back and the right arm forward, and just finding that center line to start with, that stability. And then a little bit, opening the leg and the arm out to either side and back in. It's really small movement. Sometimes the smallest movement can be the most interesting or even the most challenging, right? To stay really with your center, your gut, right? To hold it very gently still, but have the arm and leg kind of waving like seaweed under the ocean. You can bring the right hand back down now. Swing the left leg all the way over to the left. Oh, that's hard. And then swing it all the way behind the right leg. Crisscross the thighs, tuck the toes. It's a straight leg, that left leg. And then you're looking towards it. So a big C curve of the spine. Any amount of shifting, right? You all know that you can move, you can wiggle, you can snuggle, you can really make this fit you well. And then from there, we'll just slide the knees a little closer together. So left knee tucks behind the right, the feet can open a little wider. And then cat-cow, so you're rounding and you're letting the belly fall. You can notice again the belly, the feeling of your gut. Maybe you could, when you take that cow pose, when the belly drops, maybe just one more layer of softening there. You could really let it drop. You could let it just like waterfall down. And then here, like the other side, if you want to shift back and forth in your cat-cow movement, that's an option too. Always stay with you. And we're just gonna kind of trickle it out and down onto the belly. Legs can stay crossed or not. The right arm stretches forward. Push with the left hand onto the right side of your body. I'll show you this way. And when you get there, stack the legs, hold your head up in your right hand, lift your left leg to the sky, stabilize with the left hand on the floor, and then some big circles. And it's kind of cheating, like when we have Zoom, because we can see ourselves in the camera. So maybe you look somewhere else. You don't look at yourself if you tend to do that on Zoom, or you even like just make your eyes sort of fuzzy or close them even to feel your circle, to picture this circle that you're drawing and try to make it really nice. So a few times in each direction, and then you'll go ahead and lift that leg all the way up, and super slow motion to just let it drip down, drip, like almost like the air's like thick, like molasses, and you're kind of pushing it down so you feel some engagement in that top leg, a little bit of muscle wrapping into the bone. Give your bones a little hug, feel the warmth of the legs perhaps as they come together, and then fall onto your belly. Take your cobra, however you want to take your cobra. And hey, you know, if you want to grow it into an up dog, you're always welcome to do that as well. And where we'll meet is in the child's pose, where you can tuck the toes under, come to sit on your heels once again. And this time interlacing the hands, pressing the palms out and up to the sky. And then some circles here with the upper body. And really this is also kind of an intuitive movement thing where you could, you know, just move any which way, kind of scrubbing all around the inside of the skin. And here you might bring your attention to what you imagine your fascia looks like, wrapping around each bone, every single one, wrapping around each muscle in between all the bones, wrapped around your organs, inside your torso there. And that fascia, it's really like an antenna. It's feeling everything, sending tons of messages to your brain. You can let that go when you feel complete there. Let the arms release, the toes can uncurl. Any movement of the feet that helps you release. And then we'll come back to all fours. We're going to continue and kind of take this little sequence, and we're going to build on it and build on it today. So you'll get familiar with it. So you don't have to think as much, and you can really be in your body. So back to cat-cows, but how about doing, like we often do, a jump rope spine? So what I mean by that is that first you round, and then you push the rib cage over to one side, and then you drop the belly, push the rib cage all the way over to the other side, and round again. So you're making a big circle. So here's that circle again. And trying to make the circle nice and smooth. And you can change directions. Imagining that fascia, the inner lining, the superficial fascia just underneath the skin. How happy it must be to get massaged like this. Picture it. And then go ahead and just settle in the middle. We'll come back to that right leg back and left arm forward position. So last time we just moved a little bit off center. You could stick with that, or you could move a lot off center. You could swing the arm all the way to the left and the leg all the way to the right, whoo, and back. And stay with you, right? So if that makes the whole shape, right, really feeling that interoception, does the whole thing sort of get like crunchy and hard and, you know, stoic? Or can you still have a little bit of springiness, a little bit of effervescence here? So the next time that the leg goes straight back behind you, keep it there, put your hand down back under your shoulder. Crisscross the right thigh behind the left thigh, straight leg, toes curled. Look over your left shoulder, push your rib cage into the skin on the right side of the body. Any wiggles or movements. Kind of interesting to do a cat-cow here too, while you're in this funny C-curve spine position. And then we'll tuck again, the knees together. So right knee bends and tucks behind the left. The feet can open a little wider, and some cat-cows here. Cat-cow's optional. Shift it back, shift it forward. And then maybe even some of you might want to sit all the way back between your feet, sitting in Gomukhasana legs, shifting forward again. You could even shift all the way forward like a cross leg, soft cobra or up dog, and back and forth. Okay, but if that, be really kind to yourself. And if that makes it so it's harder to feel or it doesn't feel right, don't do that. So the next time we shift forward, we're going to shift all the way onto the stomach. Left arm long, roll onto your left side. Hold your head with your hands, stack your legs. This time take the right leg all the way up. If you can, you loop the big toe. If not, you grab anywhere on the leg that you're able to hold on to. And then having a sense again of sort of like harnessing that inner strength, calling on your spine stabilizing and deep abdominal muscles. We're going to open the right leg back behind us to the right, eventually coming onto the back, but trying to go really slow. You can use your left hand on the floor, kind of like a brake. It helps a little bit. Call on those deep belly muscles to slowly roll back. You'll feel like there are moments where you just want to crash land, but try to stay slow. And then eventually on the back, the right leg opening out to the right, any amount. I've got a wall here, which is really nice. I could just kickstand it. You might do that, or you can hold on to it. And then where we're going from here is we're going to bend. We're going to bring that right leg back up to center. Bend it, take it with the left hand, and just find a twist. Just falling over to the side with that leg. Let the right leg really be heavy. Just give its weight over. You don't have to grip it or hold on. You can send the arms wherever they want to be. A little snuggle, a little wiggle, a little polishing again. Feeling the bones, your living, breathing bones, and how they want to polish the skin. Imagining that tuning fork of your fascia, that antenna, listening to everything inside your body. Keep your right knee bent, okay? So it's going to stay where it is. Just start to roll back onto your belly. And take a moment there. You can come up onto your elbows. So we're in like a half sphinx with a half frog situation here in the leg. And really just simple. We're just going to hold this for a moment. Let the belly release a bit more. And then coming down, you can send the right leg back to meet the left. Bring your hands under your shoulders, child's pose, round it back. And from child's pose, sit up on the heels once again, toes curled under. We're going to take just the right arm this time and just start to circle it. And actually, you know what? Take the right arm. First do this. Take the right arm out to the side and externally rotate it and internally. So we're really clear about what's what here, external and internal. And we're going to keep it internally rotated and make a big circle with it, up and around a few times. And then you can think about taking that internally rotated arm and trying to bring the right hand, the back of it, towards the back of your heart, any amount that it reaches. You could press it into the skin on your back, pressing all 5 fingers, all 5 fingernails into your back. And then the left arm can try to come behind, and maybe it touches the right wrist or forearm, or even the right elbow to help scoot that hand up a little bit into your back, wherever you're at with it. There, can you soften? Notice if your heart's trying to jump out of your chest because things got a little challenging. Soften it back in. Let your front ribs exhale. Let your front ribs sigh and fall back into the body. Really come back home into the deep ocean of you, into your gut, into your fascia. Take another breath or two. And one way to really work on increasing interoception is to just pay attention now, so that when we let go ahead and let the arm go. And then let the feet go. You can sit on the tops of the feet. And just to be with that, to not rush away, but to feel what you feel, warmth or coolness, tingling, tightening, good, bad, whatever it feels like. Stay with it for a moment. And then to come back onto all fours. A couple times, jump roping the spine around, but also intuitively. It doesn't have to be just like I'm doing it. You make up your own. Shake it around a bit. And then you can take your left leg back and your right arm forward, finding the center of yourself, and then opening away from center, right arm to the right, left leg to the left. Maybe just a couple inches, or maybe it's going way out, up to you. Just a few times. Next time the leg comes straight back, put the arm down under the shoulder, crisscross the legs, tuck the toes, drop that leg way over to the right side and look at it. So finding that C-curve spine, and then experimenting a little bit, maybe a cat-cow, maybe a little movement of the hips, the shoulders, the head, unsticking anything that feels really sticky and challenging. And then you can tuck the knees together. So the left knee will bend, the feet open a little bit wider. And you know what to do by now, right? You don't even have to listen to me that much. Shifting forward and back, finding any sort of cat-cow movement in the spine, with the option of shifting all the way back and sitting between the feet, and shifting maybe even very far forward into a crossed back bend of sorts of your own kind. Few times like that, just experimenting, curious, and eventually, go this way, eventually coming all the way out onto the front. Right arm long, roll onto your right side, stack your legs, hold your head, and the left leg's gonna go up in the air. You can hold it anywhere at all. Knee can be bent too, doesn't have to be straight. And we'll try to go super slow onto the back, into that big, wide open hip position. So if you want to drop the right hand so it's helping you, you might do that. But really it's coming from deep inside the body, like deep, deep, deep in the spine, stabilizing muscles. And you notice you don't have to say engage your core. You notice that? Like when you come from a position like this and you just try to go back slowly, your body's natural intelligence, it's going to do what it does. It's going to stabilize your spine and engage all of those muscles in your abdomen, because your body knows what to do. So as you linger here for a moment, the left leg opens out to the left. You can bob it around a little, explore, and then bring the left leg back up to bend it, taking it with the right hand for a twist all the way over. And then, do your thing here. Stretch it out like a little kitten in a patch of sunlight. And eventually we're going to keep the left knee bent to roll onto the front and come into a half sphinx, half frog. Just a very kind of soft, heavy belly and spine here. And then we'll take it back, legs long and together-ish, hands under shoulders, push back, round your spine, child's pose. And there you're coming up onto the heels, toes curled under, and the left arm this time, external, internal, a few times. Being curious, putting your mind maybe in your shoulder and your rotator cuff, or in your spine, or in your gut. And then internally rotating. So a really big spiral in, and take it for some circles, forward, up, and around. And maybe at first you're trying to keep everything else calm. And then you might let it move the spine and the shoulders and the head a little bit. Eventually, we're going to bring it back and try to bring the back of the left hand. It's either going to come towards the low back, the kidney area, or it'll slide upwards towards the heart, any amount. And then the right arm can come back to help it. And it might just be, that you're here. Anywhere is fine, or little by little, you can crawl it until your elbow fits like it's in the little cup of your palm, almost like they were made for each other. And you're pressing your fingernails into your back, pressing as much of the skin. Can you feel the skin on the back of your left hand? Feel its warmth. Try to get every cell, every molecule of it to press into your own back heart. Feel your own back heart respond, perhaps. And the back of the heart can puff up and press back into the hand. And then as you let that go, to really be there for what happens in the release, letting the arms go, letting the feet go. Whatever you feel, and invite yourself to really sit with it. And then one more time, we roll through this, and we're going to add on even more. So come back to all fours. Any movement here now, okay? Anything at all, any sort of cat-cow, any jump rope, any shift forward or back, or look this way or that way. What does your body crave? What kind of taste is it craving today? A back bend, a rounded spine, side bends, twists. And then eventually go ahead and take the right leg back, left arm forward. We're going to swing them out to the side and just hold them there. So it might be just a couple inches out to the side. Might be almost imperceptible, or it might be way out. Can you lift the arm and the leg a few inches above the hip and shoulder line? Ooh, and then a few inches below. A couple times like that, a few inches above. Holy moly, right? A few inches. Mine doesn't even really go above, but a little bit. One more time, a little bit above, little below, back to center. Put the hand down, swing the leg all the way back to crisscross it. Look over your left shoulder, linger for just a moment here. And then we're going to cross them. So right knee tucks behind left. So this time, as you shift forward and back, or you take a little cat-cow, you might think about your left hand reaching back for the right foot here. And I just had such a proprioceptive fail just now, right? So I lifted my foot up and went and totally missed where the foot was. So can you really feel, like, without looking, Zoom messed me up because I was looking, just try to really feel where the foot is in space. You can kick it into the hand, kick it up. You can pull the heel towards the sitting bone. You can move the knee anywhere you want to move it. And then we're going to let that go. But how about a pigeon? How about you take that right leg and just stretch it straight back and start to push your hands back until you come towards a pigeon here. And I invite you to really play with this as your body wishes to experience it, which might be that you gather lots of props with you. Might be that you need to flip it around because your knee's feeling like, not so good. Or you might play here with holding the foot. One hand or the other hand. You could fold forward. So I always enjoy holding the foot and bringing it with me as I come down. So you might do that. You might come up tall, push the foot away to stretch across the front of the heart and shoulders here. Really letting your body feel itself here. Experiencing yourself from the inside. So it's not an aesthetic thing of like, I want it to look like this. But just let it look how it looks and feel it from the inside. So we're just going to gently let that pigeon go from wherever you are, and you can shift back to that crossed knees situation here, legs hooked, And we're gonna go all the way forward again onto the stomach, left arm long, roll onto your left side, stack your legs, hold your head up. This time, take your top leg, the right leg, kick it forward a little bit, and then bend the bottom leg. Can your right hand hold your left foot perhaps? Might even move the knee back a little bit more. So a little bit of just kind of see what your body does with this shape. It's almost like a twisted dancer pose. Fell over. So I'm going to put my left hand down on the floor and then really try to roll the chest back so it becomes a big twist through the spine here. You could kick the right leg out even further. You could rock onto your front side, come to a half bow even, a half sort of twisted half bow. You could rock any which way. So just take a moment when there's no exact prescription. What does your body long for? What does it want to move in the direction of? Maybe it just wants to lay there. And then you're going to come around to that half sphinx, half frog position. So the right knee bends as you roll back onto your stomach. And you know what? Actually, pause for a moment. I want you to see this. So just go ahead. You can just come out of the shape for just a moment. Just sit back on your heels or sit however. Some of you did this already, I bet, because I stole it from Sandra. It was so good. So here's what we're going to do. I'll show you first. So we're here in this sort of prone bent knee position. I'm going to bring the hands under the shoulders and try to point my toes. So this is a big internal rotation of that right leg. Point the toes up towards the sky as much as possible. And then I'm going to come up to hands and one knee like that. The other knee's lifting. And just moving the knee up in the direction of the sky. And then coming back down to rest for a moment. We're going to do that. And then we're going to tuck the back toes under. Do the same thing. Internally rotate the right leg. Try to come up through a plank. It's much harder. And then down dog, lift the knee up high. And then we're bringing it all back down. It's good stuff. And then the last one, same thing. It starts the same. Back toes curl, bent knee, tries to internally rotate, trying to come up through a plank to a down dog. And this time the leg will straighten up to the sky. You might even flip it over. And we're going to land back in downward dog, okay? So let's give that a shot. Here we go. So you're coming down onto your stomach again. Right knee bent out to the side, hands under shoulders. Try to lift your right toes up, so driving the knee down, rolling the thigh in, and come up to your left knee and your palms. Lift your right knee up to the sky, anywhere it feels drawn to behind you. And then back you go, right where we came from. Slow. Yeah, that slow descent is really hard. Rest for a moment. And then point the right toes back up towards the sky. Tuck the left toes under. Can you come up through a plank here? Answer might be no, and it doesn't have to be pretty, okay? And then lifting the hips and the knee into a bent right knee, downward dog situation. And then coming right back down, slow motion. Try to make the descent really slow and mindful. Rest for a moment, feeling the inside of your body. Can you feel your heartbeat? Maybe even listening to your heartbeat. And then last time, right foot tries to point up, hands under shoulders, left toes tuck. We're going up through plank, down dog with a bent knee, and then straighten that top leg. Straighten it, reach it wherever it wants to go. You could wag it around, you could bend it and flip it over and come to wild thing, or anywhere you want to be. We're going to eventually meet in regular down dog. So take your time, but when you get there, really arrive. I think this is our first down dog, perhaps. And we're going to take that down dog to the back. So walking your hands back to your feet. Take a moment, shake it out, wag the head around, bobble around. And then roll all the way up to standing, unfurling the spine. As you come up to standing, we're going to take the right arm, internally rotate it, reach it in a big circle, take the back of the hand to the heart, or wherever it lands there. Use the left hand to snuggle it in as much as it'll go. And then we're going to add the other arm. Left arm is going to externally rotate so that when the thumb turns out, palm faces forward, and then you reach it up. And see if you can grab your hands. If not, grab your shirt or just press your hands into your back. That's just as wonderful here. You don't have to hold hands. If you have like a sock or a dish towel nearby you want to use to bridge that gap, you could always do that. And we'll try this, okay? If you need to let the arms go, please do when you need to. Otherwise, try to hold on to them as you come to a slow standing forward bend here. Knees can be straight or knees can be bent as you need. Just a couple of moments to really let this one seep in, right? Let your tissues drink it in. Let your shoulders drink it in. Eventually, for the release here, I'm going to drop just the left hand down underneath your nose and open the right arm up to the sky. Take a twist. You could bend the left knee pretty generously. And then turn. You're going to externally rotate the top arm, the right one, so the palm is facing like over your head, that direction. And do take that arm right over your ear. For 3 deep breaths. Feel your body change shape 2 as you breathe. And 1, release, fold it all forward. You can shake it off, shake the head out, bend one knee and then the other. Maybe flutter your lips if you want. We're going to take it back out into a downward dog. So whether you got to walk forward or back or whichever way. Then from downward dog, come to sit with toes curled under. Sit on your heels. You've got so many options here. You can stay right here. You can take a headstand practice. If you're feeling it, you want to clasp your hands and stand on your head for a moment. If that's something that would really feel good to your body, you could do that. You could also sit between your feet or on a block between your feet for Virasana. Okay, so take a few moments for yourself. Lots of options. You could try out 1 or 2 of them, or you could keep it really simple. You could just sit on your feet, tops of the feet on the floor, and you could just practice your interoception. Try to bring your mind into that whole world under your skin, to feel your heartbeat, even if you're in headstand or wherever, to feel your heart, to listen to your blood. There's no hurry at all, but when you do come back, let's all meet here, just sitting on the shins. You can have your hands anywhere you like on your body. Feeling the home of Interception down into the gut. Feeling your antenna, your fascia, your connective tissue that wraps everything. And we'll take our last roll through that whole sequence. So come on back to all fours. Shake it around a little bit. And then left leg back and right arm forward. And they can stay like that. Or they can go a little bit out to the side or a lot out to the side, and then trying to lift them both a little above the horizon line, a little below. Can you stabilize your spine as you do that? So it's really coming from the hip and shoulder joint and not from the low back as much. Maybe one more time, try that. And then swing it back, leg back, hand underneath the shoulder. The left leg crosses all the way behind the right, and you turn and look. A little exploration there, a little snuggle around. And then you can crisscross the knees and try to bend. This time it's the left knee bending and the right hand going back to catch it, perhaps. And just see what happens. Maybe you stay right where you are here, right? And keep reliving this lovely moment if that's what your body longs for. Otherwise, you're playing a little bit here, either kicking it up or pulling it towards the sitting bone, moving the knee around perhaps. And we're gonna head into a pigeon type shape. So from there, you can just start to shift back, stretch the left leg back to the ground or flip it over. I know we move like sort of back behind the mat if you're using a mat. So you can scoot, any which way that you need to. And then enjoy your pigeon. Find a place to live here. Find a few different places to live. I'm gonna let that go and start to bring it back the other way. So just playing that in reverse, shifting forward, sliding the knees crisscross together again and taking it all the way forward onto your front. And when you get there, right arm goes long, you're rolling onto the right side. Hold your head up. Take a moment here, and then we're gonna do the little bit, take a moment because I forgot. I had to think for a second, what did we do here? Gonna take the left leg, kick it forward, and then the right knee bends, and you might hold that foot if you can reach it. If not, you're just intending in that direction, that's fine. And then just a little, it's like playtime, a little recess here that you could twist it, you could fall back, you could roll forward, take it into a sort of a half bow twisted shape. You could stay on your side, anything at all. You could even probably roll onto your back, right? Yeah, all kinds of places you could go. Eventually letting that just dissolve. The legs both streaming together back behind you, fall back onto your front. As you come to your front, we're pushing it back onto the heels, toes curled under. I feel like I forgot something, but oh yes, I did. That's it. Haha, the best thing. Yeah, thanks, Mela. Exactly. You got the left knee bent outside the chest here. Come back to your belly down here. I'm gonna shift my camera a bit, and then we're gonna turn. So the left toes try to point up to the sky. Stay on the right knee. Come up to hands and knees. Lift the left knee up. You can move it anywhere you want to move it to. Explore a little, and then that slow motion. Come back down. Whoo, slow, slow, slow. And then the next time you do it, the right toes are going to curl under, and you're going to lift the left foot up towards the ceiling. Try to come up through a plank. And then a down dog, left knee high. Slowly bringing it back, slow, slow, slow. And on this last one, you can take it into down dog and reach the left toes up to the sky with a straight leg. Maybe you're taking a flip your dog over, or maybe not. Maybe you're keeping it real simple. Let's all meet in downward dog. Walk it back, hands to feet. Dangle and wobble and shake out just a bit before you roll up. As you roll up, the left arm is going to internally rotate. In. And then reach it up and around and bring it behind your back. Try to bring the right hand somewhere to help it. Soften the front heart back into the body. Feel the back heart expand. Feel the skin on the left hand press into your back. And then the right arm can come up. It's going to externally rotate and come up and reach for the hand, maybe, or the sock, or the dish towel, or the t-shirt. Softening back into yourself again, coming back home. Keeping the arms if you're able to. Let them go if you need to. We're going to fold it forward. So when you let the arms go, the right hand comes down under your nose. As the left arm opens up, the right knee bends quite generously and you twist. You start to externally rotate the left arm and reach it over your head, palm facing the ground. The whole thing drops, both hands to the floor, fold down through center, Uttanasana. And walk it out to down dog, either walking it back or forward. And from down dog to child's pose. Actually, down dog, just come to hands and knees. We're going to crisscross just the shins or ankles behind you and try to walk it back to sit behind your feet. Or if you don't get there like that, any way you get to sit is good. Coming to simple cross-legged seat. Just feeling into your body again, feeling your gut. Imagining your fascia. Feeling like one big tuning fork inside and out. Your bells ringing. Kind of open the legs into a straddle here. And just take Upavishta Konasana, walking it out any amount between your legs. See where you go. Feel the weight of your body on the earth. The earth meeting you, allowing you to really fall into it. Feel your spine here. Not searching. With interoception, we're not really searching for anything fancy. Just feeling your internal experience. You can feel for temperature. You can feel for sensations like tingling or aching, anything like that. You can even feel in metaphors like color. It doesn't have to make sense. And then you can start to collect yourself back up little by little and draw the knees towards you. You might scoop them up with your hands and hug them in. And then we'll just drip down onto the back. I like to come with this reach forward and kind of roll the coils of the spine down, but you could come down any way you like. If there's anything else that your body is longing for, take a moment or two for yourself. And then eventually you'll rest. can stay here if you have the desire and the time to do that. Or you can begin to wiggle your limbs, feel your tiny joints start to light up. Maybe rock your head or blink your eyes. Maybe feeling your body from the gut, from the inside. Feeling the antenna of your fascia start to wake up again. By Lillian. And as you come up, no hurry, your hands could find your body one more time, wherever they want to land, on your body or on each other. To take a final Om that feels perhaps like a vibration of your insides, like a washing of your insides. Oh. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you. I'm so grateful.